today?
I'm doing good. Thank you. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Beautiful. I love your suit. Looks so smart on you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Just got it yesterday, so
Yeah. Wow. That's a good
uh,
one.
yeah, it
So thank you so very much for being here. How do I pronounce your name?
tan away,
Oh,
tan away,
Say that again.
tan away,
Turn away.
tan away. Yeah,
Okay, turn
yeah.
away.
In
Got
in,
it.
in in Hebrew.
Okay. Oh, Hebrew. Wow.
Yeah. So
Do
it
you know the
means
meaning?
it means oak
Go
of
ahead.
God, oak of God in Hebrew.
Hmm.
So
Awesome.
tanner in Hebrew is ochre. So tan means oak,
Okay.
and then and el always means God in Hebrew. So at the
In
end would
Hebrew.
obviously be God.
Wow.
So oak of God, and
Hmm.
but just like Yahweh in
Yeah,
Hebrew,
got it.
it's pronounced way as opposed to
Way.
yeah, yeah. So
Oh,
tan away.
amazing. Huh? I
Yes,
just
sir.
learned something new.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you so very much, Danaway.
Absolutely, brother.
Okay, a quick word. Majority of the listeners are from the United States, and secondly, the time frame for our conversation is 20 minutes. Can you work with that?
I can work with that. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Now,
Okay,
what
so
what do we want to focus on here? I mean, is it overcoming
beautiful question.
obstacles? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to ask you questions that you're very familiar with, and also talk to us about your personal or professional journey,
Okay.
things like that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so are we good to go?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Hey, Tadaway, it's so nice to have you on the show today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me, brother.
Beautiful, and thank you so very much for being here. You see, I truly appreciate it. And just like I say oftentimes to all of my guests, Tadaway, I want to thank you for two things. Okay, so firstly, thank you for investing in yourself. You see, Tadaway, you are on this platform right now because you invested in yourself. And oftentimes, I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. You see, some months back, I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside, there was this tall, unattractive mango tree. And I use the word unattractive because the mango tree's got no mangoes on it, and the leaves were all dry. So I just walked past it, and I went my way. But you see, Danaway, just recently, I was on that same road. And this time around, a lot's changed by the mango tree. The mango tree caught my attention pretty good from a distance. Immediately, I got the urge to move so close to it, of which I did, and it wowed me. Because now, the mango tree's got a lot of mangoes on it, beautiful green leaves and healthy branches. You see, it was a beautiful moment that day. I was so excited. I just kept staring at the beauty of the fruits, the tree, the leaves. It was really beautiful. Here's my point. The fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing Dana that you are today, that alone has really made it impossible for me to skip you. And that's why you see you got the request from me to be on the show, because I was attracted to the fruit of your work, your philosophies, all that you're doing, and the impact that it is having on this planet. It is amazing. So thank you so very much for doing that to yourself. And secondly, thank you for saying yes to the invite. Because if you had said nope, there was nothing I could do about it. Thank you so very much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All glory to Him who gives me power. Though let's remember that I'd be nothing without God. So I
Yeah, to
appreciate
God
what
be the
He's made
glory.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Awesome. I love that. I love that. That's a great one. Okay. Let's get started. I'm quite excited to have you on the show today, Tanaway, for some reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. I believe in order for one to transition from a terrible situation to that of a beautiful one, I believe it takes the application of knowledge, quality information, and not just knowledge, but the application of it. And you see, Danaway, ever since I discovered that light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness means ignorance,
Yeah.
I've been so keen to knowledge seeking because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our conversation today very important to me and even to the listeners. The second reason I'm excited to have the amazing Tanaway on the show is for the sake of the listeners. You see, we live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got lots of information flying out there. So these folks trust me for quality, eye-opening, and very important information, of which I am totally convinced that our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So for that reason, Tanaway, let's get started with your introduction.
Okay.
Talk to us about your personal or professional journey. We're just so curious right now. We want to know how Tanaway got in. Then afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, Tanaway, over to you.
Okay, thank you so much. So again, my name's Tanaway Downing, and I'm a civil rights advocate and litigator. So what I do is I identify, rights that are inherent by God, inherent by our laws, that are protected by them, and groups of people that are being, negatively impacted by those laws, that are being denied the very rights that God has given to us, guaranteed to us, and I fight to ensure that everybody has equal representation within our system of government here in America. Now, this applies so much further than just America, and I'm glad that a lot of organizations and groups are taking interest in what I'm doing, because this is absolutely true. God did not create anyone to be abused and trodden upon by his fellow man. God didn't create slaves, and God didn't make any mistakes. Every single person is here with a real purpose. And, I was just listening this morning to a previous podcast that I'd done, a radio station interview with KBOB in Oklahoma here in the United States of America. And I said, racism has no place within our society. Economicism has no place within our society. The way that we overcome the existing system that is depriving us of our life, our liberty, and our ability to find happiness, the way we're going to do it is by healing the trauma that's been inflicted by people that believe that they have the ability to control another human being, and they don't. And so, here for me, this started because of a divorce. I mean, I was married and I loved my wife very much, my ex-wife very much. And I didn't understand what was going on. But, one thing is, and you mentioned it yourself, like light and knowledge are the same. When we're in the middle of adversity within our life, when we're in the middle of the trials in our life, those trials are there not to hurt us and not because we've done anything wrong. Those trials are there to teach us, right? They're a source of knowledge that we've been brought to so we can change our perspective, because, that we all have a reality, but that reality is based upon our experience. So if I were to say to you that there's racism in the world, you couldn't understand me unless you've experienced it. And if I were to say to you that there's injustice in the world, you couldn't understand me unless you've experienced it. So sometimes in order to understand what other people are going through, we have to experience the same thing. And that's just God's way of preparing us, right? Because no one will fight for something that they don't believe in. It was the moment that I started suffering that people started appearing that weren't there before. I made a lot of money before this, and that was my focus. That was my passion. That's what I thought was important, because that's what America has told the people to focus on, is money. But the measure of a man is not based upon the things they have, but based upon things they do. And I changed my perspective rather dramatically because I started seeing people around me that were suffering that didn't exist before, not because they weren't real, but because I didn't have the right perspective. And once I had the right perspective, now I knew that there was something I had to do about this. And so here in America, I'm fighting what is now the biggest civil rights case in the history of our nation, that's going to be the most significant decision affecting every single person here in America. And we hope to replicate this out to the rest of the world and be an example and a light for them, because once again, the purpose of government is not to hurt the people. It's not to control the people. The purpose of our government is to help the people and to give them a better life. And if government can't do that, then I don't think that we need a government any longer. And so, this is where I started. It was my own suffering, my own adversity that brought me to a place where I found that I was extremely blessed by that adversity. So blessing isn't looks, it isn't money, it isn't an easy life. Blessings are found within the trials and adversity that God gives you, and the greater the blessing, the greater the adversity, and we need to embrace that, because that's where we're going to get that knowledge, that's where we're going to get that light. So thank you so much.
Amazing. What a great speech, and I love it. Blessings are found in the midst of trials and adversity. I got that. And that's a brilliant one. You see, let me tell you something. Just recently, I was just thinking, how beautiful would the world look if we have folks in every sector who are doing what they're doing just to please God. And I love the fact that you mentioned purpose. That's one of my favorite words. And ever since I discovered my purpose, it has been a very interesting journey.
Yeah.
And you see, you face some issues, and the issues now unleashed the real you, and you stood up and start offering solution to that particular problem because you don't want others to go through the same thing.
Right.
And now you're doing it. Yeah, it's amazing. And you're having impact. You're having great impact within the society and even in the world globally, which is a very beautiful thing. Because we've got a lot of demonic folks in many places like that that are doing the total opposite of what it means to be in that particular position.
Yeah.
So the first question will be taken from, talk to us about the We Shall Be Free tour. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah. So what I'm doing and what I started is what's called the We Shall Be Free tour because as I said, I'm fighting a very, very huge case, a legal case, on behalf of the people of the United States. But unfortunately, America doesn't just wake up one day and say, "Oh, we're doing things wrong. We need to change." You see, it takes a reason. It takes someone who's willing to inspire the hearts and minds of the people to see something different, and that starts with just one. Right? When God gave me a new vision of a greater world, of something that needs to be changed, it doesn't matter the adversity that we face, neither heaven nor hell, not angel, not demon, not prosecutor or judge. Nothing can stop a man who's been given a vision from God from completing and fulfilling that vision because we believe in it. Right? I've been shown something that I think is amazing, and I have to share that with the people, and that's my responsibility. So, ultimately, the decision will come from a court, but the battle is fought in the opinion of the public, because today the public doesn't see something that I see, and it's my job, if I want to bring that into fruition, it's my job, if I want to make that a reality, to actually go out and share that with the people of the United States so that they can see the same vision, so we can come together and say, you know what, that's what I want. Because, what I see, I started out as just one, and we now have millions of people who see the same vision as me. And that vision is a world that doesn't include institutions that we call sweatshops in China, but prisons here in America. Because here in America, what most people don't understand is that our prison system, our justice system, that we enslave people at a rate of 16 times more than the next closest industrialized nation. We take our own people and we put them into these abusive and oppressive conditions so they make t-shirts and sweatshirts for $0 per hour. And then we call China and Korea uncivilized because they do the same thing, only they call it a sweatshop. We call it a prison. You cannot take hurting people and put them into a more hurtful situation and expect them to heal and be happy. That doesn't work. Hurting people hurt people. And so what we're doing as a nation, and honestly, the whole rest of the world needs to understand that here in America, in the world where we claim to be free, where we say that we're the freest nation in the world, and yet we have 5% of the world's human population, but 26% of the world's prison population, there's something wrong there, because that doesn't sound like a free nation. And so what I'm doing with this tour is I'm traveling across the country. There's 50 different states here in America, right? And I'm traveling across these states, laying seeds of justice, informing people of the true reality of what we have in place and the oppressive and tyrannical nature of it that increases trauma and increases hurt amongst the people that are hurting. And I'm trying to let them know that there's a better way. God has been very, very clear on how to deal with trauma, and that's that we heal them, right? If a church is a place that we send sinners to heal them, then here in America, we have a prison system where we are supposed to send sinners to heal them, and instead we hurt them. We hurt them horribly, in horrible conditions, and this has got to stop. And if it doesn't stop, then we at least need to make sure that what we preach overseas is consistent with what we practice here at home. So before we go into another nation and demand that they do something that we don't do here at home, we need to align our actions with our morals. We need to align our actions with our words. And we need to decide, are we a free nation? If we are, then we need to be free. And that means that we don't continue to enslave and imprison our people. Because when I say slavery, it is true here in America. We are the last industrialized nation that not only permits it, but has codified the legality of it within our foundational law. And I'll tell you why. Our laws derive from what is called the Constitution of the United States of America. And that document was created in order to preserve the rights of the people by limiting the powers of government, right? It's a weapon that limits what our government can do against us. And yet here in America, these states, the 50 states that we have decided that they don't have to follow that Constitution. And there are 37 states right now that do not do what the Constitution of the United States of America says that they must do. And that is unconstitutional. And we have more than 700,000 people currently imprisoned here in America illegally in violation of the United States Constitution. And no one's doing anything about it because they say, oh, they're just a monster. What we don't understand is that that monster was created. That monster wasn't born. No person aspires to be a slave. That's not a job that anyone wants to have. And yet we have a law that says that we are going to guarantee the freedom of all people. But then in that very same law, we have an amendment that says neither slavery nor involuntary servitude shall exist except as a punishment for crime. And the moment that you say except, it means that you can have slavery. But we don't call it slavery in America. We call it justice, because if you're a criminal, our government can enslave you and can force you into involuntary servitude. And that's the reason why this system is doing the things it's doing, because our government is profiting off of the forced involuntary servitude of people we have deemed aberrant, right? From a system that has decided that they know better how to govern the people because they make a monetary and financial gain from those acts of involuntary servitude. This is not the way that you treat people. This is not the way that you have a free nation. And this is not what the people of the United States envisioned when we created the Constitution of the United States. This is not what we planned when we instituted a government to govern us. And I'm here to tell people in the United States that we're done enslaving our brothers and sisters. And we are now going to shift from an institution that decides it's going to force people into involuntary servitude so that they can profit off those acts, into an institution where we're actually going to heal the people from the trauma that has been inflicted upon them that was never their fault. As a child, as a husband, as a mother, something happened to these people that changed the trajectory of their life, and we want to heal that and no longer hurt them from the institution so that these government officials can profit off of these illegal acts. This is not the way it works. So if the church is a place that we send sinners to heal them, I want this to be a place of not a den of robbers and thieves, as our Lord Jesus Christ said, but a place where we will provide the healing because these sinners need to be healed. They deserve to be healed. And our government was instituted to do just that. We're going to hold them accountable for the things they've done. And we're going to tell them that either one, you help the people and you obey the laws that were established by the people, or two, you are no longer a government operating under the willful and lawful authority of the people of the United States.
Amazing, Taylor. That's amazing. You see, it feels like you shouldn't even stop talking because your words are profound and you've got a lot of incredible insights in them. Okay, I've got just one more.
Yeah.
So how would the justice system function after your litigation succeeds?
So today, just as I said before, today we have a system that is not a criminal justice system, because justice is built upon fair and equal principles of all men being equal, to where the laws apply equally to every single person, right? Equally, because that's what government is there. The laws, in order for them to be legitimate, they must apply equally to everyone. So we can't say that this person over here, because of the color of his skin, is not equal to me because of the color of my skin. We can't say that this person over here is not equal because he doesn't have a nice suit or a good job or a nice car and I do, right? We can't live in a world that permits us to exclude any certain group of any demographic for any reason whatsoever, because that would make our laws illegitimate. And that makes any country's laws illegitimate. There are two main issues that happen here in America that is the source of all injustice. And I'm going to tell you that it doesn't matter what country it is. These are the same two things that creates all injustice. One is called oppression. Now, oppression is the creation of laws that affect one part of society differently than another part of society. That would be an oppressive law. If the government creates a law that says, I'm going to punish men, but not women, that would be an oppressive law because the law must apply equally to every single person. So that's the first source of injustice. The second source is called tyranny. Now, tyranny is the unequal application of laws by a person in a position of authority. So if a person is in a position of authority and they say, you know what, I don't like you because of the color of your skin. I see that we're reconnecting. Boy, I hope that we didn't lose that. So sorry. Are you there? So oppression or tyranny is, oh boy.
Okay, let's proceed.
Okay. So tyranny is the unequal application by a person in a position of authority. The point of a leader is to lead the people. And a leader must lead equally because any great leader knows that their greatest strength is not in ruling over people, but in serving the people, right? So a good leader steps down and decides he's going to serve the people because that's the way to lead people. You don't tell people to run into this fight because you're too scared to do it yourself. If you're unwilling to do it, leaders, if you're unwilling to do what you're directing others to do, if you're unwilling to lead and be the first in those steps, then that's not a leader. So leaders must understand that you don't get to apply the laws unequally because that's not leading, right? That's ruling. That's what kings do. And so any leader knows that if I lead two people, I need to treat those two people equally because otherwise I'm going to create conflict and that conflict's going to lead to crime and crime is then going to make me a lot of money if that's what my focus is. But money is not the focus. So, you said a moment ago, you said that about your passion. They say that you found your passion when you're willing to continue to do it regardless of whether there's money involved or not, but you do it because you love it that much. They say that you found your passion the moment that you're willing to continue to do something because you love it that much. And your purpose then is when you take your passion and you decide to give it to other people. Right? This is my purpose. This is what God created me to do. I have no doubt about it. I'm going to do this whether there's money involved in it or not. I'm going to do this because the people that I'm fighting for, they don't have money because they've been enslaved into an institution that is forcing them into involuntary servitude. So 9 years ago, I made a decision that I'm going to do this, even though I don't get paid to do this. I'm going to continue to do this. And this has been the most rewarding honor that God's ever given me. But he makes sure that I continue to do this because those people need help, and I'm here to help them. So thank you so much. Yeah.
Beautiful. That's awesome. I love that. And that's one of the signs that you've discovered while you're here. It's amazing. And I'll take that as a final thought. So for folks who like to reach out to you, Tanaway, or even ask questions, or even maybe support the great mission and all, how can that be possible?
Yes. So one thing is once again, I do this for free. If people are interested in supporting this and getting behind this, they're welcome to do that, but I operate only on a donation-only basis. I don't take on individual cases. I fight for everyone, but I will not fight for anyone. I have to do that because God must I must have the freedom to be able to do what God needs me to do at any given time and not being under a contract with individuals that would create obligations. So I don't take on individual contracts. I only fight for the collective, the group, the nation, and their needs and their requirements, and then allow God to give me the flexibility that I need to be able to be successful at it. But we have a website, And I would welcome anyone across the world to be able to go to that website and be able to see the things that I do. Maybe they're inspired by the things I've said today, and maybe they want to know some more. There's some incredible videos that are there, videos of legal arguments that I prepared, that are heart based as opposed to rational based. Things that might inspire other people to stand up and fight for those around them that are being oppressed and being hurt. That website is www.tanaway.com. That's TANAWAH.com. And if you're logging onto it for the first time, if you can't connect to the site, you may have to put in HTTPS : in order to be able to access, then www, because I don't have that much money, so we're not optimized within the SEO. So, so sometimes if you're connecting for the first time, sometimes you have to put that in. But from there, you have all kinds of information. You have press conference information. You have my videos, the videos that we feel are important. You have my background, my history. You also, up at the top, you have examples of affidavits, criminal affidavits, where government has committed crimes against you. You guys would be able to use that as a format, perhaps for your own country and your own needs. But then there's also donate link up at the top right. If you wanted to get behind this, if you were inspired by it, if you wanted to help America overcome the injustice by supporting our efforts, you're welcome to do that. But no one has to pay for a consultation with me. No one has to pay to talk to me. No one has to pay for my services, because God makes sure that's paid. So there's many days that prayer is much more valuable than the money donations. And so I would say, please pray for us, pray for not just our nation, but pray for the people of the whole world, that we can perhaps become the beacon of light and hope, so that I can come and fight for you in your country as well, because that's going to be the next step. If God is behind this and this is His will, then I guarantee you that that's going to be the will for the rest of the world. And so, thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Amazing. I've got to clap for you, man. You see, your words are very, very inspiring. I love it. I love it. So that's going to be the end of the show, Tanaway. Thank you for coming, and thank you for sharing this amazing stuff that you shared. It means a whole lot, man. Thank you.
Thank you so much. God bless you, and God bless your listeners. Thank you so much.
That was a beautiful word, my man. I love it.
Thank you, brother.
Man, you see, I feel so happy whenever I come across folks who have this understanding, doing things under God's influence, influencing the sector you are in with Evans culture. It is amazing. Thank you for all that you're doing. Thank you so very much.
Absolutely.
So, to publish this episode today, could you please head to podmatch.com and confirm the interview complete?
Yes, absolutely. I will. Thank you so much, Elisha.
Okay. And I'm definitely staying connected, all right?
Absolutely.
I'll keep you following your social medias now.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
And
we'll see you soon, brother. I'll be over there
soon, man.
I'll be over there soon.
All right.
God bless. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, bye.